Hi, I'm Kelly,
And I'm Madeline.
and welcome to Salt Sessions. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Salt Sessions. I'm Kelly,
And I'm Madeline.
and today we are going to take an inside look with how top modeling agencies work. And we are joined by our dear friend, longtime friend of Madeline's, Jenny Nowak. She is the agency director at
Click Models, yes. And I remember Jenny because I used to represent her back in the early 2000s at
Don't
Elite Model
age me too
Management.
much.
Oh, I'm not aging you, dear. You're so fabulous. So used to represent you back at Elite Model Management and have known you a long time. And I'm so proud of you. And yes, you're my
Likewise, it's so nice
competition,
to
but
be
you're
here.
also like a best friend.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It's really nice to be here with you ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. So, talk about how you got started. I know you started out as a model and now you're an agency
Yeah.
director.
So I started out as a model when I was 14. No idea what I
14.
was doing. My parents were supportive. They had no idea. Okay. So I enter into the modeling world and a small agency, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Mary Lou's Models. Okay.
oh my gosh, I love it. Mary Lou's Models.
Mary
That
Lou's Models,
sounds
guys.
like
Sounds very
small town.
panhandle. And she was amazing, right? So I had a friend who was doing it and she was like, you should come with us. Her mom and my mom were friends. We went to a little scouting event at Seaside. I met Giselle, who ran an agency called Flame in Paris.
Wait,
And
I thought
I
you were going to say Giselle was there. I was like, wait.
that
what?
would have been
What?
that would have been
Wait,
really a
Giselle
crazy
was there?
story, right? And then no one even looked at me.
I know.
No, but so she was an agent from Paris and I signed with her. That summer I went to Paris. My mom came with me. My dad didn't understand the business. I have two older brothers. One's an anesthesiologist, one's a civil engineer. And then I was like, well, I want to model.
I want to
And
model.
my-
I'm going
my
to
dad's
Paris,
like,
by the way.
What? So they were very kind to me. I went to Paris that summer. The next summer I went to London. I did modeling. And then came time for college. I went to college, did it a little bit while I was in college.
Where did you go to college?
UCF in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. And just have had kind of a back and forth relationship with it since then. And then one day I swapped sides of the desk and my dad finally thought I had a job. For years he didn't
He's
think
like,
I had a
"You have a
job.
real
He
job."
couldn't, it wasn't black and white, right? So it was it's a joke in our family. But yeah, I started when I was 14.
Yeah, and I will never forget because I called you, I think, the day that you took the job at Click. And I was like, congratulations,
you
sis.
did.
Welcome to this side.
Yes, you didn't warn me. Just kidding. It's
I
stealthy
didn't
on
warn
this
you.
side too.
It's
But
awesome.
yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, what is your day-to-day life look like at Click as an agency director?
Okay, I thought you meant my whole life, and I was going to say my whole life's like a tornado with children and stuff.
We can talk about that too.
But day-to-day life, it's getting into the office, and it's so different than it used to be. I think with emails and computers. When I started modeling, there were no computers.
We had a
which
wheel at
ages
the
me.
desk. We had a wheel with the calendars for every model at
Yeah.
the desk.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
We
'cause
had
you
a
couldn't
wheel.
put it on the computer.
We didn't
Oh,
have
there was no
computers.
computer,
I started in
right? So you-
1994, Kelly. We didn't have computers.
A wheel.
We had a wheel. We had a
And
wheel at the
agencies sat
desk.
at big circular tables. So when I started, that's how it was. And then of course, but now my day to day, it's like going in and it's so different. People aren't on the phone as much. It's so much email.
Yeah.
It's emails and texts and then phone. Phone's like the
Phone's
third way to reach a person after you've tried email and text.
Right.
So it's a lot of, this and hey, let's make sure this and they didn't
That's
change
why
their
I know that I'm
hair
like
and-
20 years older than you because I start first with the phone.
Oh,
I love phone.
No, she
It's
literally-
you can get so much more accomplished.
She calls everybody, and I'm like, Madeline, okay, we need to be like
Efficient
efficient
with
with
our
our time
time.
here. I'm like, okay, you are going to email and send a quick text, and you're going to copy and paste it to every single model that's like on,
Yeah.
that's been submitted.
She's
Same
the
job.
boss lady over here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you got to get the stuff done because it's
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff is time sensitive. You get a client and they're like, "Hey, we need 3 models who look just like this and they need to be available tomorrow morning."
Yeah.
Oh,
All the
Yep.
time.
all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, are you a booker as well as an agency director? Like, what are you doing?
Yes, so I do a little bit of everything. My main focus is agency director, so making sure that the office is running well.
Okay.
Light accounting, I can get the numbers
your
in, but I
QuickBooks,
don't love it,
yeah.
right? Our accounting's out of our New York office, so
Okay.
send them everything they need to do, enter everything in, make sure everything's running well, make sure client relations are going well, make sure the people that we have that we're potentially scouting and signing, we'll have meetings over those people and who would be a good fit. And then, yes, some booking too, but that's not my primary thing. It's just kind of
How many
a
offices
little
do
bit of
you have,
everything.
Jenny? How many offices
It's
work?
New York, Atlanta, Philly, and then we have Flick in New York. I mean, in LA. It used to be Click, but they changed it more movie
Flick?
centric to Flick. And then we have
Oh.
Framework, which is a lot of influencer stuff and deals like that. And it's East Coast, West Coast, so LA and New York, and then FFT. So they're all kind of under the Click
That kind of
umbrella.
differentiates us because Click is like a little bit bigger of an
Yes.
agency and we're more
You're more of like a
boutique.
true
Yeah.
talent, like a true
Yeah.
talent
Yeah.
agency.
And then we're paired with Jay Purvis, and they
Right.
do all the
Purvis,
on-camera
yes.
stuff.
Yep.
So
We love Jamie.
yeah,
Yes,
she's great.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
But
yes.
my
And Joy,
role
of
is
course.
just
And Joy, love
obviously
you too.
the
You're
modeling side.
watching over everything.
Yeah, as far as like the TV and film side, I don't know as much about that. I mean, if I have a question,
don't
I just
either. I
call
always
them.
defer
It's
to
a little
Kelly.
overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
And they're in charge of that, so it works well. I'm like, okay, Jamie or Joy will be your person there.
Right.
It's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, mostly we're both like the print agents.
Yeah.
We understand that world.
Yes,
well.
exactly.
And Kelly understands that commercial world
Yeah.
and acting.
Madeline's like,
Everyone has to have
It's
their
Madeline's
specialties.
favorite.
That's the
It's your
specialties.
favorite.
It's my fave.
I know she loves casting networks.
Oh yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Well, so are you placing models as well at other agencies? Because I know that you have your network at Click. So how does
Yes.
that work with like other agencies like Ford and William
Yeah.
and IMG?
So, for instance, if we're placing a model in New York,
Yeah.
obviously we have our agency there, but sometimes they're not a good fit for it. I feel like every agency has it's like every agency has its own personality,
Right.
of
Wait,
what.
time out. So what would you say your personality is in Atlanta? Like Click in Atlanta.
Good question. So I feel like
That's a tough
Click in
one.
Atlanta because we're not a New York, but we've
Right.
got a lot going on here. So we're a little more diverse in New York because we'll take anything.
Right. Right.
Sounds a little.
No,
I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word on the
I
podcast.
love that.
but-
And Salt is like that too because
You
we've
take
changed. We're
you,
taking people that are 5'5", people that
right,
are
and you
5'10".
find
Yeah.
the jobs that actually have good rates, and sometimes they're
Right.
a little bit outside of the box or a little
Right.
bit this, but you're trying to get your talent stuff. I think in New York, they don't have to do that as much. They have their identity and they're a little more strict with it because there's more going on. There are so many more people in New York than in Atlanta. I mean, we have a big city, but
Right.
we're different
Right.
markets for sure.
Right.
So I think there you can have more your identity and that's who you stick to. Like our New York men's board is very high fashion, very editorial. Where here we have some that are like that, but we also have some that are very commercial and very lifestyle because we want to be able to fill
Yeah.
All
the
things
roles
that
when
Atlanta's looking
when
for.
the clients call.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Would you agree that the market in Atlanta is very like commercial print focused as
Yes.
opposed to like fashion? And,
Absolutely. And the fashion jobs that do come here, the rate on them doesn't compare to the rate of the commercial jobs for the most part,
We
you
just
know.
talked
We
about
touched
that
on that in the
literally
last
in our last
episode, yeah.
episode. We
Oh,
were
okay,
talking
yeah.
about just how the money isn't everybody wants to do runway, right?
Everyone
You
wants to do runway. It's fun,
everybody's
it's
like,
sexy, it sounds exciting.
Yes.
And then it's $200,
Yeah.
or whatever the rate is.
Yeah,
it's like something like that.
$200, literally $200.
Or you can go sit at Shoney's and drink a cup of coffee for a $1,500 day.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's so different, and people come in and their thought of modeling is high fashion, runway. I mean, we get people that come into the office that are maybe 5'2" and say, I really want to be a runway model.
I know.
And I'm like, I love you and I wish I could make you one. But unfortunately, it's not us deciding who we book on what jobs.
Right.
It's,
the
it's a
client.
client.
The
It's
clients
in the
decide.
market.
We can only do
Decide.
so much.
Yeah.
And so you have to be realistic with this. And I know you guys well enough to know you guys are both very kind people. And I feel like I'm a kind person. So you have to be transparent with talent coming in when they want to do something. And you're like,
That's not gonna work.
unfortunately, I would love to push you for that. But the problem is the clients aren't going to book you for that. So that's where the problem is.
It's a hard conversation. Like we have
Yeah.
that all the time with
Because I love people who
I
are
know.
driven and want to do things and want to go outside the box and all those things. But
You can't go outside the box with a 5'2" model.
I know.
you
Run.
can't.
Well, and too, like in Atlanta, I mean, like tattoos, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, we just had an issue with one of our models who is stunning, works a ton, but decided to just get a bunch of tattoos.
I know.
And
Whenever they call me, they're like, can I get a tattoo?
no,
I'm like, no.
And I'm
No.
like, no, please don't.
no,
Please don't.
no.
I mean, and there's some jobs that want to book everyone, but then you have to get like a sleeve or something.
Right.
It's not just like a little smiley face here or a
Yeah.
cloud here or something.
But I feel like New York
those
is
are
more
hard.
forgiving. Like New York is
Yeah.
more forgiving with that.
Yes,
Like,
because
Once
it's a little more
model
editorial and
reaches a
stuff.
certain
yeah,
level in their career that they can go and get a tattoo. But
Right.
like for me,
Once you
I'm
have a
always
name.
advising
Yes.
models never to
Because it's
get
going to
one.
block you from jobs.
Yes.
They'll block you from jobs because a lot of jobs in Atlanta are very e-com,
Yeah.
And so they don't want to have to Photoshop out 10 tattoos off your arms and wrists.
And now I've seen requests to call the tattoo artist to make sure it's okay to show their tattoos on ads and stuff. So that's adding another layer. I just had a client ask
I
me
haven't
that.
had that.
We
And,
actually have not had that
and
yet.
I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, this is another reason to
I
tell
know we
them.
have had that, Kelly. We had it once.
Did we?
Yes,
Maybe.
we did have it
that's
once,
okay.
and the client wanted to know what a model's tattoos were and what they meant. And
And
they asked me
how
to call the model and say, hey, what does the tattoo on your sleeve mean? And what does it mean on your chest? Because they wanted to make sure it wasn't like something really.
And that's a good point too, because they want to make sure, if you have a model representing your brand
Right.
and they have tattoos that are offensive and
Yeah.
maybe I'm not cool enough to know what they mean, but maybe there's a meaning behind them that would offend a large group of people. They don't want you representing their brand.
No.
Because what they want is models that grab attention, that grab attention from so many other people that attract a lot of different client bases. So if you're
Right.
offending a group,
Then that's not good.
no.
But when you were referring to the tattoo artist, it's almost like they have to grant permission.
Because
like
it's their
usage,
artwork.
Usage right, kind
Yeah.
of, in essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they
That's
did their
interesting.
artwork, and
I
I've
have not
just
heard
started seeing this, and I was speaking to someone in New York at our office, and they said it's pretty common up there. I've only had it happen once or twice down here, but that's another layer of,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna book this girl or guy, and then we've got to check with our tattoo artist. We've got to hunt them down, talk to them, get them in touch with the client.
Yeah.
So yeah, the tattoo thing is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, to sum it up, it's hard. So yes, when models call and they say, "I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. What's your opinion?"
Yeah.
My opinion is always no.
No.
Mine too.
Right.
And Kelly's
Right.
as well.
Mhm.
So let me ask, I'm kind of a little segue here. So I know you get a ton of submissions online.
Yes.
What makes a potential model stand out to you? Like, what makes you decide, hey, I want to bring you in?
Sure.
And then maybe I want to sign you.
Sure. From just online submissions, strictly off looks. Like if they have an interesting looking face, what their measurements are. And I know that measurements are all over the place. I think when I started in the modeling industry, they were a little more straightforward. Now I think
Can you talk to the viewers about that?
yeah. So when I first started modeling, they were pretty straightforward. Like girls 34, 24, 34, maybe 35, 5'9" to
5'11".
5'11", guys, and there were parameters. Now, the fun of it is it's all over the place.
Right.
So some of our models do not fit in those parameters and are booking a lot and doing really well.
Right.
So now for scouting models or getting submissions, when you're looking at them, you have to look for something special or for this or for that.
Something
And you have to kind of look at the measurements, could they fit a size this or a this, and it's kind of like throwing a dart in the dark almost.
Right.
And then you have them come in and then you have the whole personality component. Like,
I remember when I started in 1994, my mentor was Mark Cook, and unfortunately he passed away recently, but we love Mark Cook. And he taught me in the very beginning, he was like, well, Madeline, we always want to look for a symmetrical face, one that you can flip over. And I was like, really? And that was in 94, but it's changed so much since
it
then.
has. I mean, you look at ads. I went into Target the other day and I was looking at their ads and I was like, where do they find these people? Because they don't look like your traditional model. So how did this person get into modeling? Because it's so different these days.
It is.
And that's a good campaign that they got,
Right. And it's so diverse. I mean, you may have different ethnicities,
yes.
it's
Sizes, height.
yes.
Sizes, heights, freckles,
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Gaps between the teeth,
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And there's no rule book for it
Yeah.
now.
So we have one model who had the cutest gap between her teeth and she wanted to get braces. And we were like, no, do not do it.
Yeah.
Because it makes you you.
Yes,
and
it
it's
gives
interesting.
personality
It
for the
does.
person.
It does. It's kind of like, was it Jennifer Grey, the actor? Who,
Yes.
like, she had
had
a
a nose
prominent
job.
nose and then she had a
Yes.
nose job and then her career
Went
tanked.
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
It's so
I mean,
crazy.
love you, Jennifer Grey.
It's when you find someone with an interesting look, whatever it is,
Yeah.
when you're interested in their face for whatever reason, a nose, a gap between the teeth, or something like that. And a lot of times the model will be like, "Oh, I want to get this fixed," and you're like, "No,
Yeah.
No, don't.
no,
Yeah.
Right, it makes you
it'll book you
special.
jobs."
So what
or
about
something
boobs
unique.
while we're on it?
Oh, what
Boob
about
jobs.
boobs,
Boob
Kelly?
jobs. Sorry. I mean,
That's a hard one. I
yeah.
mean, because for
Wait, you got,
traditional.
are y'all like shaking your heads back behind here? Are y'all like, oh,
No.
did she really
Well,
just
I have
ask
to say
that?
something about
Yeah,
boobs real
I
quick.
asked. Yeah,
So for
boobs.
me,
it's important.
aesthetically,
Boobs are important.
boobs are important, and I wanted to say that for me, aesthetically, like I like a model that maybe has a smaller chest because they can wear the couture.
Right.
But like other models, they want to enhance themselves, and so maybe they're going to work in a different market,
Miami.
in a Miami market,
Miami.
or
Yep.
yeah. But like for high fashion, you have to maintain that
Your
like
measurements,
Yeah.
because in
right, you
couture
gotta
and the
be
sample
you
sizes,
gotta be
there's not
sample
much
size,
room for
and there's not
boobs.
much
Yeah,
room for
no,
double D's.
No. So it's interesting. I guess it depends upon where the model's going,
Right.
what we forecast for them or are hoping for them, and what they want to do personally, because we have
I
some
love that
without,
word,
we have some
forecast.
with.
Yes.
So I always call myself an architect, that I'm the
Yeah.
architect of the model's career.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
forecasting.
Yeah.
It's the same
I love
thing.
that.
You're
Yeah.
forecasting. Okay, this is what can be.
Yeah. Here's
And
some
if you
things
go
and
and
some
get
things.
yourself very enhanced, then
Maybe you're not going to
this is
fit
not
in
going to
this
fit.
area anymore,
Right,
so we're going to
right.
have to change your
Yeah.
path. Is that
Yeah, your
something you're
goals.
wanting to
Yeah.
do? It's crazy. When you ask boobs and we were all like boobs, I always say that the modeling world is not one that necessarily has like a PR division that goes along with it.
Right.
Right.
Good point. We don't have
Yes.
PR.
I was
Yes.
at my friend's house once and I was working there, and I had to
There's
call
no Screen Actors
someone.
Guild. There's no SAG.
No, there's nothing. I had to call
And there's
someone
no
and say,
HR either.
HR. I didn't mean PR
There's no
department. I meant
HR.
HR. It's
There's
been a
no
long
human
week,
resources.
guys.
Oh my goodness. HR.
PR. We do have PR. We promote. I
In
meant
my mind,
HR.
I knew
HR.
exactly what you meant.
Yes.
I was like HR.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
she's-
HR.
Yeah, HR. Because I had to make this phone call. Hey, your spray tan looks orange. Hey,
Ugh.
you're a man. Wear whitey tighties that are tight. Hey, can you whiten your teeth? Hey, can you send me pictures of your backside? These are all questions in a regular
On a regular
I
day.
job or a regular
know.
office would not be spoken about.
No, that would be an
Boobs,
HR no-no.
noses,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and we have to do all of it. And then you have things with situations where people come in and maybe they're transgender.
Right.
So you need to know, are you taking medicines? Like, how far have you
Right.
gone on this? What are you doing? It's all the things that are inappropriate in every other arena to ask,
so
but we have to ask it because we have to know.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't send clients.
Right.
We were talking about this recently. We have a lovely model that we just signed.
Yep.
Transitioning, Adam's apple, jewelry brand, necklaces.
So biological
They need to know.
male,
Biological male transitioning to a
Okay.
female.
Okay.
But things like that, with jewelry, it's a crazy
becomes
world. It's like
something.
the Wild West that we live in. And we have to ask all these questions, and you have to, it has to come from a place of really caring and wanting
Right.
your talent to be successful and explaining why you need to know these things so that you don't put them in a situation that's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, right? You don't want to send them to a jewelry shoot for necklaces and have them sent home from the client because you still have an Adam's apple or
Right.
it's tricky these days.
Right.
But
It
you
is
really have to dive into some tricky questions, I think.
Right.
Mhm.
So every model wants placement, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
every
yeah.
model, it's like they sign and then it's like, okay, so when am I going to get signed to, agency in LA or New York? So what,
Right.
as an agency director, what is your decision making with, are you ready for placement? Look, what steps do you follow?
So they're not set in stone, but they're kind of my
Your
checklist in my
priorities,
head.
right.
Like what is your book looking like? How developed is your book? Another big one is
Okay, time out. Sorry. Can you talk to the viewers about the book and the importance of the book?
the
Like,
most important thing.
thank you.
The most important thing. It costs money, but it's the most important thing. And that's the hard hurdle because a lot of people, you've heard all of these stories from people, a lot of famous people with children and or I just discovered her in the mall and all of a sudden now she's walking for Prada or this or that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors to that. The developmental stage and building a book is it's your number one marketing tool. If you don't have photos, because it's not like when I started modeling and I would see people in person. Now everything's so digital. So you're sending out books digitally. And if you don't have a good book, you look like this and your
Your
book's down.
book is your calling card,
It's your
basically.
calling
So,
card,
like,
right?
instead of having a business card, you have a book, and
Yes, and if you don't invest
clients
in
are
it,
seeing that instantaneously,
yeah,
and they want to see something that's going to be eye catching, and that you want to turn that first page of the book and say, okay, what else is here?
right.
Because back in the day when I started, we were couriering express everything, and there were like the hard
Yes,
scuba books, and we'd have a stack of
Yeah.
like 12 of them going to the ad
so different.
agencies. But now it's like instantaneous.
They want
Like,
it yesterday
boom.
and they want to see everyone's book.
Yeah.
And
And you're competing. I mean, I hate to say use the word competition, but in
But it
essence, though,
is.
you are, because if your book is, one shoot or two shoots, and then,
Another
another
girl's
model
is like
has
8.
eight shoots
Right.
with
If I'm the client, who
wide
am I
variety,
picking?
who are,
I mean, if
it's
you're
a
the client, who
no-brainer.
are you picking?
Yeah,
You're
Right.
picking the one that looks like they have the most experience
absolutely.
Right. And that's why we
and the most
always try to
diversity.
drill it into the models that shooting quarterly is really important,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if the book doesn't change in like a year or 2 years, God forbid, then they're going to be like, well, what have they been doing?
And
Are
what
they working at
do they
all?
still even look
And
like this?
do they still even look like
Yeah.
this? Exactly. So it's really
Yeah.
important to always update your book
Very.
and listen to your agent and be on it
Yeah.
and do it
Yeah.
quarterly.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're not being mean by asking
No,
you to
we're
shoot.
just
We're
right.
not
No, we're
trying
trying to
we're not
get you
making money
jobs.
off of you.
Listen,
We're
if you make
trying
money, we make money.
exactly.
We're trying to teamwork with you and make money on things.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. What mistakes do you feel like new models make? Like, models are green, they want to work, they're ambitious, but what are some of the big mistakes that you see them make?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest one is maybe wanting to do something that they're not the right fit for.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like I spoke about before, a lot of people come in and say,
Yeah.
hey, they have a preconceived idea of what it's going to be. And I want to do this. I want to work every day. And
It's
they're
not
not
realistic.
making room
Well,
for the time of development, or
right.
they're not allowing clients to show them what they're really good in, because they're so set on, oh, I only want to do runway, or I only want to do print, whatever it is. And a lot of times you have more options if you'll listen to people and you're open to them.
Right.
So I think people come in with an idea of what they think the modeling agency is, and we have to start fresh and tell them that's not exactly how it is.
Mhm.
And here's what it is. And then let's teamwork and see where you want to go. Teamwork
It's
makes a
all
dream
about
work,
It does.
Yeah.
It
Jenny,
does.
that's
But
my
it's like, it's
fave.
listening, it's like
Yeah.
listening and being receptive to what you're listening to, I think is one of the biggest mistakes,
Right.
I agree.
and also, we live in a world with a lot of instant gratification.
Mhm.
You post something on Instagram, people like it. It feels good to have all those likes. You do this and you get it right away. You order from Amazon, it comes tomorrow. Not everywhere, but in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
it does.
Not for my parents there in Fort Walton Beach, but
Yeah.
it's like you want something and you want it right now. And so I think that's another conversation that's important for people coming into the agency, or coming in as a new model, is some things take time and you have to build
Right.
them, and it takes endurance and tough
It's like
skin,
planting a
thick skin.
seed. You've
It
got to
does.
nurture the seed. You've got to, to allow it to go.
Some people come in and they want to start right away, and I love that drive and desire. But if you're going to start on your development and start
Yeah.
getting your photo shoots and this and that, and then things will start coming.
Right.
It's so
And I
true.
mean, we have models too that, that we sign, and they're like, oh, yeah, thank you so much. I quit my job yesterday. And I'm like, whoa, whoa.
Not
Like,
yet.
no, not
Well,
yet.
and
Yeah.
Not
we
yet.
can't get
Yeah.
started
Yes.
without
Yes.
you shooting and developing the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So keep your job and make that money, and then get some
And then
really good
invest it
shoots.
in
Yeah.
yourself.
And something that's going to be
Invest it in yourself. And
important.
I think that
Yeah.
that's a misnomer for models these days, is that back in when I started in 1994, we paid for the model to shoot and develop their book.
Mhm.
I know.
And then they would pay us back. And around 2000-ish, all agencies changed, and they were like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
model has to pay for their
Yeah.
book to be done.
Yep.
We don't make money off of it. You pay the photographer directly.
Mhm.
But that you're responsible for your book.
Yeah.
And so some models will only say, okay, I can only afford one test shoot. And I'm like, well, that's fine. But realize that your job is not done yet. And when you can afford to do another one, we need to do another
Yeah.
one, because we need to show that diversity in the book, and that you can be a chameleon and do all different kinds of things. It's
Right.
not just
Yeah.
one
It's not
stop
just
shop.
One
one photo
shoot is not
shoot.
gonna.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not going to
it's
do it.
not. And then once you get shoots, it's a never ending
Right.
thing.
Right.
I mean, there are models that have been doing this for 20 plus years, and they're still shooting
Yeah.
and getting test
Absolutely.
shoots to add to their book. I mean, it's an ongoing thing that's
I
really imperative
I
these
think I have
days.
one model that sends me a shoot every 2 weeks.
I
Oh,
love
we
that.
love her.
Every 2 weeks.
We love Alexa. We love you. Thank you for
Alexa.
sending us
Alexa,
the
I love
film.
you. I don't even know you, but it's
Alexa
awesome.
sends a shoot every 2
I
weeks,
love
and it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, because we have fresh,
Materials. And
Material.
I don't think the models really understand how important it is to freshen that book up all the time, because these art directors and the creative directors and casting directors are looking at it,
They're
and they're
seeing
seeing
the
the
same
same
stuff.
stuff,
Right.
and they're like, what's new around here?
Yeah.
So
And also, it makes you look stagnant, whether you are or you're
Yeah,
not.
are
But if
you
you're not
working
adding
or are you
new
not
stuff
working?
into
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
yeah, even if it's test shoots or whatever, it's like, okay, they have the desire, they want to do this.
And we have a new model right now, who will remain nameless, but he knows who he is right now. And he wants to shoot like every other week.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's so exciting for us
Yes.
because it's like
Yeah.
you're a newbie and you want to shoot every other week and you're always asking me who to
He
shoot
wants
with
his book
next.
to
He
be
wants his book to be bar none because he
Yeah.
wants to work.
Well, your book is so
Your calling
important.
card.
I mean,
Yeah.
once again,
Yeah,
I know we've said that a lot, but it's true.
it is
Yeah.
true.
Well, Jenny, thanks again for joining us today. And we learned so much about the industry and your agency and kind of what makes everything click.
Yes. And like I said, Jenny is like such a dear friend of mine and I love her so much and have known her for so long because I represented her as a model. Now she's my competition, but that doesn't matter because she is my friend at the end of the day.
Yes.
So thank you, Jenny, for
Thank
answering our
Yes.
questions.
Thank you guys for having me here. It's
Thank you.
been quite a
Thank
pleasant
you.
evening.
Yes, yes. Well, that does it for this edition of Salt Sessions, and we will see you next time. Bye.